My signature spear point scraper. Let me show you up close what it's all about. Now the really good news is that the tools have arrived, and for all of you that purchased one of my signature tools in the last July pre-order, hopefully within the next couple of weeks you can expect your order to arrive. So there was a little delay in the Crown factory regarding the handles, but that was sorted very quickly, and again it was 350 tools in total, which is a really big batch even for Crown. So it does take a little bit longer to produce all of those tools, but luckily they are now here, and I already started to sharpen them, and I divide this 350 tools, so that's 147 orders. I divide into 5 rounds, just so it's a little bit manageable for my small shop here. So roughly at one round I sharpened around 60 to 70 tools. So already the first round is sharpened and already packaged as well, and from those packaged tools half of them are already on the way. I'll do my best to sharpen these and prep them as fast as I can. Again, it's a lot of tools, but I'm really grateful that I've been able to do that and to sharpen them just the way I use it, and hopefully you will enjoy using them as well. Now in this video I just want to show you briefly how I sharpen a spear point scraper and how I use it. Just briefly I'll show you my process, how I go from a rough edge to nice sharp burr. Now the question that I get probably the most recently in my emails is when the next pre-order will be, and fingers crossed, I hope to open the shop again within a week. So hopefully in 5 to 7 days I plan to open the pre-order, and again it will be stay open for maybe a week, so keep an eye on my website, and I will announce it through my newsletter email. So if you're subscribed to my website you will receive it. You just have to check maybe spam folder, sometimes those emails can end up there, so just be aware of that. Also I'll announce it on Instagram, Facebook, and I'll do a YouTube video as well. Now so just be aware, when the next pre-order is finished I'll report the numbers to Crown, how much tools they need to produce, and again it will take from 8 to 10 weeks for these tools to be produced, again depending on the size of the pre-order, how much tools and everything. So I could present that this could be your Christmas gift, but it will be a late Christmas gift, again maybe in late January, early February. Those tools, again depending on the size of the pre-order, those tools should arrive in that timeline. So, and again I just want to say thank you to all of you that purchased one of my tools. For all of you that watches my videos, it means a lot to me. So without any further ado, let's jump right in how I sharpen a spear point scraper. Now in this second round I have 7 spear point scrapers to sharpen. Here are 6 already finished, and just to show you how they look and how you will receive them. So you can see a nice slight curve. Maybe I'll just point it like this so you can see it a little bit better. So nice subtle curve meeting at the point here. Now the bevel is around 47 up to 50 degrees. Again, don't get hung up on an exact number. So if you sharpen it up to 55 degrees you'll be okay. I don't usually go above 55 degrees or below 45 degrees. Again, I like to have because of that 45 up to 55 degrees, you have a nice sharp point and bevel here, so you can really go into nice details as I'll show you in a few minutes. Now if you wonder about this secondary bevel here, so this is on purpose done. I set to Crown to do that on purpose. So the bevel is around 45 degrees, exact 45, and I set the platform to around 47. So I only have to sharpen the top portion, top half of it, let's say, like as you see here. So it's a little bit faster sharpening, and you don't have to grind all this bevel away just to get to nice sharp edge. Now another feature that I really like, and I haven't seen it on any other spear point scraper, and for me it makes a whole lot of sense, and that is this heavily rounded bottom corner. So that helps gliding over the tool rest in both directions. So hopefully that makes sense, and you can see the signature here. So it's a really nice heavy tool. Oh, I forgot the dimensions, of course. It's 1 inch, 25 mil wide by 10 mil thick. That's 3/8 of an inch. So really nice and heavy scraper with 14-inch ash handle. Now, one of the next steps that I like to do when I take one of these scrapers out of the package is I use WD-40 on the blade and a little bit of Scotch-Brite pad, and I go for maybe 10-15 seconds all over the blade. So what that does is just polish up and smooths everything a little step above, I would say. And then of course wipe away any excess WD-40, and from that step I go to a grinder and I just find this. So this is 45 degree, and I set the platform to roughly 47, just a little bit up, a little bit more steeper angle, and you see that secondary bevel on top. So that's 80 grit CBN wheel, and I just refine this curve here that you see on the wings. So that's done on the 80 grit CBN wheel. Then I go back to the bench here on a wet and dry sandpaper, and there is a heavy burr on top here which I want to remove, and also I just want to polish up the first couple of inches of the blade here on this 600 grit sandpaper. So place it upside down and keeping it nice and flat. I go for around 10-15 seconds, and it does the great job of slightly polishing or ironing the top surface, so the burr will be a little bit more consistent. I do this with every tool. Wipe away any excess, of course, and now this is a little bit more refined surface here. Now there is no burr here, so now I go to 180 grit CBN wheel just to put a nice fresh burr on. So as I mentioned, this is 180 grit CBN wheel, and I'll put a nice final burr on that you'll receive in your order. So you can use lower grit wheels if you want. If you want a little bit more aggressive burr, then use lower grit. Usually 180 grit or 80 grit is, for me at least, a nice medium. So I keep it nice and flat and just follow the outline that you have. And I can feel a nice solid burr. I'm not sure if I could show it on the camera, and you can see the bevel is nicely polished as well. So to the other side. So as you saw, around 5-6 seconds to get a nice final burr on. So now you've used your scraper and you need to sharpen it again, get that nice burr on. What I like to do is always go back to that sandpaper, flip it upside down, give it a 2-second rub like that, and that will just remove any remnants of the old burr, and then go back to the grinder. Or go through steps that I've shown in other videos to get a burnished or a pulled burr. So I have here a little piece of sapele. I have this blank on the lathe pretty much the entire day for sharpening when I test out ball gouges, spindle gouges, now scrapers as well. The spear point is mostly used to get a really nice final surface quality before sanding, and you basically don't need a whole lot of sanding if you use it properly. I also like to use it to get the best possible surface on a stubborn timber that doesn't like to be cut or scraped, because with the spear point I can really get into really nice shear almost vertical angle, and that will give you the best possible solution to the stubborn grain or punky timber or anything like that. If that doesn't work, usually you just have to go to sandpaper. So I have here a couple of corners, details and such, just to show you how I use it. So when I go, if I want to go into corner of this bead here, you have to close the spear point scraper, much like with the gouge, so only the point goes into the corner. If you present it like this, into a corner, opened, so you can see it's facing up, basically it will be a catch, because you will hit with the timber unsupported bit, much like with the skew, so it can be quite nasty, I would say. So you have to be aware how you present scraper. So for the corners, again, I close it, make the point into the corner of the timber, and then as I move away, I can start to drop the handle down and slowly shape what I'm doing on the top. So I'm watching on the top here what I'm doing, and you'll see I'm getting really lovely shaving dust, and nice and gently. Again, don't present it like this, stick the point up to the timber, because that will be a massive catch. You'll align with the end grain, your top portion of the scraper, and you'll split the timber. Although it does look, when I present it like this, I'm using the side here, you can see where I'm using it. So just show you that again, and hopefully the dust will stay on. So hopefully you see which part, and it's this one here where my thumb is. That area I use to get away from the corner to shape this bead. And the nice thing about spear point scraper and these rounded bottom corners, we can go both ways. So if I have to shape the bead from this side, I can do it. And you have to be really nice and light with the scraper. So this is not heavy removal tool, it's just for finessing. And I like to have a little gap between the timber and the tool rest, so I'm not in this point with the tool rest. So this is a small surface area, and you can cut in the bevel here, so it's not great. So I keep the tool rest in this portion here. Now let's say I want to get to this flat area right next to the bead. So again, close it, and as I'm getting into the corner, close it even more, and as I'm moving away, open it up. You can see a lot of dust. And that's the movement you want. So that's really nice and clean detail. So this here as well. The easiest way, so you start just maybe 45 degrees flat, so the tool is level. You engage it at the timber and just drop the handle down. That will give you shear action. Really simple. A nice thing about, again, using the spear point, you can use all of these edge. When one area gets dull, you switch to the bottom or the top. So now you can also use it flat if you want. Just make sure the end of the handle is higher than the cutting edge here. Again, you have to be aware that you're not pushing into a corner, both edges. So you can go like this in one direction. So in this case, I'm going, all of my pressures are to the left. I'm not forcing the scraper forward, because again, I'll have both of the edges engaged and I can invite a catch. Here it's a small ridge, but if it's a deeper corner, then you'll risk a really heavy catch. So again, you can use it flat, like so. Now the tool rest is a little bit too high, so I'll drop it a little bit. So you can use it like that and just get rid of this. So I have a rough OG profile, and let's say this will be my tenon. You can also cut the tenon with a spear point. Just align where you want to go, lift the handle, and this is now nice clean tenon. Again, you have to be aware how you present. If you open the scraper too much, it will be a massive catch, because the wood will, just grab a pencil, the wood will bring down to this edge here, which is in the air basically, so it will roll it over, which is not pleasant at all. So now again, I can go into a corner, I drop the handle down, and hopefully you should be able to see a little different shine from this area and this here. This was a relatively rough scrape, now I'm shear scraping. Again, nice and gently. Once you get the hang of it, you can go much faster. It's a really nice dance. And a little detail. So let's see. Actually, I'll clean this up just a little bit. Like so. There we go. So now that's a really nice surface, straight from the tool, as you'll see. No tear out, no nothing. I can sand it real quick. Just open the dust hood. A little piece of 220 grit sandpaper. A little bit of shaving, and that was just a few seconds with 220 grit. I'll take it out so you can see it a little bit better. So hopefully you can see all the details are really nice and clean. So that was 220 grit for around 10-20 seconds, and that's pretty much done. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this little video on how I use and sharpen spear point scraper. It's a great tool to learn. It's a great tool to have in your arsenal, especially if you deal with a lot of punky timber or any kind of a stubborn timber that doesn't like to be cut or scraped in a usual fashion. So again, this tool can give you a really high shearing angle, which really does the job nicely. So it does have a little learning curve, because if presented wrong, it can be a massive catch. So just be aware. You can turn the lathe slower You won't get as best possible surface, but at least you'll get the hang of it, where and how to use it or how to present it. So, and once again, before I close the video, I just want to say thank you for everything. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.